Right, welcome back. Last time we attacked what was Aragon and Castile. They've managed to unify into Spain for the southern half of Sicily. And in the process, lost an army in an ill-advised invasion of Iberia. Yeah. Probably wasn't the smartest thing I've done. But yeah, the truce with the Mamluks expires in a year, so I should be able to attack Ramazan and conquer their provinces without the truce-breaking shenanigans. Kiev is apparently dealing with things. Yeah. I've also been grabbing rather slowly provinces along the Arabian coastline and Somalian coastline too, via the expedition system, and obtained several merchants, so I'm tapping further into Asian trade in order to get even more money. Although I am doing my best to get as much of it in a good direction as possible. Yeah, though all this takes time. I mean, practically sending anything to Anatolia is immediately going to be sent over in a good direction, because the only one here that's actually bothering to do anything is Karakhaninu. And they have so little trade power, it's basically meaningless. Gah. Of course, the annoying thing about all these expeditions is that everyone's fabricating claims on those provinces, since they lose the core upon giving it up to the expedition. Set you up right there. And declare a war before Atlantic decides that Servan is still an easy target, because Mita can't do anything here. Right. Let's set Adana as the warble. And with the new army that I set up, that's got an equal amount of infantry and cannons, sieges are going to take much less time, due to the bonus that artillery give on sieges. Let me just click the province so I can actually see what it is once the lag finishes up, because January to February happens to be, as far as I can tell, the second laggiest time of the year. The January to February transition. First is obviously January 1st to January 2nd. And December 2nd is a weird kind of lag where you can still interact with stuff, but it doesn't cause anything to happen until it's done calculating everything. Just like the actual game start, too. Tends to be an extremely laggy moment. Yep. Maximum siege bonus. 10 artillery. So I get maximum siege bonus for level 1 and level 2 forts. Higher quantities tend to be a bit problematic though. Wow, they didn't actually have the fort on their capital. have any maintenance. Perhaps I should have sieged that down first. Oh well. Some of the ships isn't a blockade in order to speed up siege progress. It's not going to help for Toroslor, but it will help for Adana itself, which I am picking as a war goal. Continue rapidly converting these 3 provinces. Ah. Is that it? Is that the entire Roman Pretender rebels? Looks like it, unless they're not sieging anywhere else, so... Now we've got a new Empress. I can't do the Marry Noble Consort because I think the modifier still exists. Yeah, Royal Consort. But it will expire by the end of the... well, at the start of next year, so that's when I can do that. Okay. Take that out, siege down the last of the provinces, and then march your way down. While I send these ships back down here. In order to reduce Mamluk insistence, well, Mamluk enthusiasm of a war effort. War enthusiasm. There. There we go. Provinces I want. Well, they can do a quick battle. Why not? There we go. Allow me to ask for a little bit more. Can't ask for those, they cost too much war score right now, so... yeah. I have to send you back, expand the theme system. I can build the Suez Canal. I'm not sure how much of the Great Project System is DLC, because... well... it does seem like you can't do anything while it's recording. I do want to check on that port province in Madagascar. See how it's settling up. Yep, we've got burgers now, so there's at least a bit of trade going on. Not enough to generate trade power, but it's still there. Sure, I guess. Why not? I don't like Austria, so... Sounds like a great idea. I'm sure those civilian casualties are mostly from rebels, actually. Alright. This is a good point to stop for now. Once I've assigned the one merchant I've gotten. Great. At least that means that the next minor trade center is going to give me yet another merchant. Right. I mean, the difficult part is finding a good spot to put these. Okay, that's just ensuring that the Western Siberian node mostly flows in the direction I want it to. Eastern Siberia. Is anyone actually... Well, yes. It's all being pushed outwards. Most of it to the Western Siberia node. There's not much here, so... Not really much of a point trying to get it to go anywhere else. Punjab node, nah. Bihar, Punjab, Yedishar. Yedishar might be decent, but I don't like the idea of sending that much trade that way, so... Yeah, there's not many good places to put a merchant. Because most of the directions I can push stuff in, I don't have much power in anyway. Or is practically pointless, as far as I'm concerned. You only get flow from the Far East. You only get flow from the Jingyang node? Isn't that this node? Yeah. For some reason this is a source node. It's a bit strange. I guess I could try going for more Indian trade. Where does Khorasan get its flow? Maranwar, the Punjab node, and the Yedishar node. All of which I already have control over. Okay, the Arabian Sea. The Arabian Gulf is already starting to get questionable. Let's see, Inner Arabia. Definitely Inner Arabia. I could probably help get some more Indian trade in the Gujarat node. To the proper node. So... which is the Arabian Gulf node. I won't be able to get much of it though. Indian trade is very difficult to get a foothold into unless you actually own provinces there. It will be very difficult because, well, sure, I've got, say, 6 tech levels above the premier Indian superpower. But it's going to be difficult landing there and holding those provinces. They've got 25k troops. Travancore has 36k. Yeah, this is probably temporary. They probably annoyed the nobles at some point. And they'll probably get back on their feet pretty soon. I managed to get a lucky event that lowered noble influence a lot. So I should be able to get I should be able to go to dispassionate peasantry. So peasant freedom will no longer decrease, and it raises minimum peasant freedom. I'm not entirely certain if I meet the requirements for rank 4 free peasantry. No, I don't. The Empress, yes, I did have a regime I did have a succession, so... The Empress just simply isn't skilled enough for that. I think her executive authority is merely 60. Yeah. I would need at least a middle line ruler of 333 in order to manage to free the peasantry. I've had this before, but never had the lack of influence. So this is a perfect opportunity to set that part up. Plus, the more free the peasants are, the less money that the aristocrats manage to grab from the peasants themselves, for the small quantity of present property that actually exists. Yeah. Next goal will be to move to gentry. However, to do that, I would have to lower aristocrat power by over 10%, which is not particularly easy. Sure, I could stop certain power increases, yes, but they're already pretty low loyalty as it is. Well, okay, they're reasonable loyalty, but they're not going to be reasonable once I go to dispatch peasantry. They're going to drop by 40 loyalty, so... I've conquered Rome. Or, well, they are in Polis. So, that's as the province is called now. And also went to war against the Mamluks to grab, well, the provinces of the Suez state, the Sinai state, that I've managed to fabricate claims on. I have not managed to fabricate claims here. I'll get to it. I mean, right now I've fabricated a claim on Cairo, which is the premier city of the Middle East. I think it has more population than Constantinopolis, so... Yes, it has double the population. Wow. Just gotta take a look. Yeah, because it actually has more population than the amenities can properly support, and yet living standards are so amazing that the population is growing anyway and people are immigrating. I've also started spending my massive quantities of money on building up the capital again, capital infrastructure. But I underestimated how much labor is required per level, so it's going to take a while. But at that point we'll have a level 2 capital, which will improve my prestige, that's A, and greatly improve global CE. In order to get the exact amount, I would actually have to look at either a level 1 capital or a level 2 capital. There we go. 12% global CE reduction, so CE will actually be 8% of the value. Well, actually, okay, so CE, the reduction to CE will be 88% of the value it otherwise would be. And also get me plus 0.03 prestige and centralization per year, though the centralization modifier is entirely meaningless. I'm getting 0.55 per year. With the noble concessions. So, well, noble concessions to ancient liberties. So my centralization is not going to go down. I produce so much prestige per year. With, well, okay, I'm not sure how much of that is. Okay, yeah, I produce so much prestige per year that so long as nothing uses it up, I am going to stop at 100 and stay there because of, whoops, wrong button. Because of how many largest regional cities, centers of learning that I have now. Even with the noble concession. So I'm maxed out on prestige. The legitimacy is also maxed out, assuming that I don't get a low legitimacy heir. Oh well. Although I really would like an heir soon. On monarch death, I get the noble from House Turov. Which I'd rather not have as the case, because Alaniji has my dynasty. So should they die without heir, they will become my personal union, which would make for an amazing subject, just like Bulgaria has for centuries. But right now I'm kind of waiting on them to continue collecting provinces and converting them. How long until cultural conversion occurs here? A long while. How about he has nationalism, yeah. And cultural conversion continues. Quite a few of the Seljuk provinces have gone out of Anatolia, and several of them are working on cultural conversion, although the process tends to be slow. It only works really if there happens to be a close enough province that works. I've also conquered Ramazan, so yeah, these provinces are going to be problematic for a while. My name is nice and stretchy. After all, that's the most important metric, isn't it? Yeah, it would be great if Elenergy manages to fall to personal union, because they'd be large and stable. They've managed to keep themselves together relatively well, after all. Yeah, it would be so nice if we could manage to do all this. I mean, the interesting thing is that transitioning to gentry is actually independent of noble influence. Which is rather interesting. So, I might actually be able to do some administrative reforms thanks to the sudden increase in bureaucrats. Ooh, I can go ahead and just straight up politicize the civil service. Cool, let's go ahead and do that. Cost me some stability and raises corruption, but I could start rotating tenures too, but that costs elite loyalty, and we should wait on that one. We really should wait on that. And maybe this, but I really don't want that until I can successfully say that the elites no longer are any issue whatsoever. So basically passed all the reforms. And can successfully ignore the nobles. I mean, going to freeholding is next to impossible, though. It's very difficult. Heck, I started with gentry in the Dithmarschen campaign, and never managed to get the nobles weak enough to pass that. Ever. Which is really weird. Global trade is also spreading. Spain managed to embrace it, and now it's starting to spread to a lot of Breton and Portuguese provinces, as well as what's left of the Papal State, and a couple provinces in Armagnac and Savoy. Of course, the spread is likely going to be slow. I'm not going to get it anytime soon, so I'm going to have to deal with increased tech costs for a while. And not getting an extra merchant, as well as reduced trade power abroad. Oh well. I will definitely be updating academia when it arrives. And industrialization does not require global trade. Yeah, academia is arriving soon, though. 10 more years. 10 more years. Tech level 46, after all. That's when I get a new idea group. Sadly, I probably won't be able to take advantage of the reduced idea cost, but... It also improves global institutional spread when embraced, so it's going to make global trade easier, because I'm probably going to get academia before I get global trade. Oh well. Things are moving along. Can't add to a trade company. Right, there is no trade company there. Apparently North Africa is not suitable for trade companies. According to how the game is set up. Oh well. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but the Roman Arabia Company also has enough trade power to get a merchant. 30% of the provincial trade power. Yeah. I mean, Arabian Sea. It's very difficult to get a large amount of trade power in a sea node. The reason why I've got Western Siberia is locked down is no one else bothers to send a merchant outside of Kiev. And they're collecting outside of home node. Well, and they have a lot of corruption. Okay, maybe not a lot. I've got a decent amount. So do they. Oh well. I've gone on long enough. I'll be able to tech up next year. And finally go to dispassionate peasantry. I've been on oppressed peasantry for ages. Not sure if I've been on serfdom. I don't quite remember if I start with serfdom. Serfdom's pretty bad. Might also move towards bureaucratic administration. Yeah. And then there's the question on the next idea group. I could actually, in theory, pick anything, because I've got 3 of each kind. Probably go culture ideas. After all, that gets me military culture, which will provide me with yearly army professionalism, as well as the acculturization program, which gets me culture conversion resistance reduction. I mean, the idea group also gives minus 10%, so with a normal country, those 2 will get you minus 25%, which means it will take 75% of the time, so it will go, well, 33% faster. However, the Romans get minus 20% as well. So it's already taking 80% of the time that it normally would for a regular country. So with this, it will instead take 55% of the time of a regular country with no changes. So, and a transition from 80% to 55%. I'm not sure how to quantify that easily. Okay, calculator. 55 divided by 80. So, 69% of the time. To be precise, 68.75% of the time. So, about 70% of the time. Which makes it even faster. Of course, it's pretty late game. There's only 200 years left in the game. But, well, lets me spread that nice dark blue across more of the map. Why not? Especially since it lets me see which cultures syncretize where. I've also been working on converting provinces, so a couple Syrian provinces are now majority Orthodox, and more of the provinces over here are as well. Although Naples is helping with that too, which is nice. Because as part of the peace deal, I forced them to convert, just like I did with Venice. I'm also interested in further expanding in Austria, but they're not the emperor right now because their queen is female. But they now have a male heir. Breton culture. Oh! Take that, von Habsburg. Yeah, the Austrians are now going to go with the Breton dynasty. Just like I have the same dynasty as the Lenigi. Oh well. Catholic zealots are about to rise up, but... I mean, okay. Why do you keep breaking or trying to go to the 15 stack? I'll deal with that eventually. It's too close to a revolt for it to be a good idea. Oh, this revolt. Well, I could force it to go down. I mean, I've got plenty of mill points. But that's enough for now. Definitely long enough. Spent way too much time. I'll see you again next time. Until then.